He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets and Fred Anderson Nissan of Asheville.
Oh, it is a Sunday morning, and welcome into Fantasy Game Time Decisions here in the Sportsocracy in the Ingles Studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. You are the House of Reprehensibles, and it is finally here. We've got a full slate of football. How'd you like Saturday?
That was absolutely dreadful, but thank God for Kansas.
Yeah.
Never in my life did I think after a college football Sunday or Saturday I'd be saying thank God for Kansas.
And how about them Appalachian State Mountaineers? Boy,
you were one play away from the greatest Duke in your pants ever.
Troy came in and they needed a 56-yard Hail Mary to win the game.
Prayer to the heavens that paid off. But Luke Combs was phenomenal as the guest picker.
I thought it was all phenomenal. The fact that they were in Boone, the fact that they gave away 3 scholarships, I thought that was cool. They were going to give a year's tuition to the best sign, and then they ended up giving 3 of them. I like that. I like that a lot. The right guy won, though. That Texas A&M, it's the only ATM you can immediately withdraw $1.5 million from. Good for you. Good for you, kid.
I had many signs that I would have used, but I was not eligible to win the tuition.
Right.
Because I don't go to Appalachian.
Right. We're hoping for a better day of football today in the NFL than we had yesterday in the college ranks. We'll have all of your start sits. Get all your questions into the comments here. Share it out with your friends. Tell them that they need to join us here in the Ingles studio. Unfortunately, no armchair commentary today. So it's all on you and me, Jeremy, and the house.
That is perfectly okay. If you're a member of our Patreon, my full week 2 rankings is out and it is up on the page. If you would like to be a member of our Patreon, I will post a link right now.
And get in on the DFS contest for today. Last week, our winner was Brett Ponder.
Brett
Ponder was the winner last week, so he is NASCAR style already into the playoffs.
Correct.
And today, someone will cash another ticket into the playoffs.
And for me, if you're playing DFS today, it all starts with the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders.
100%. By
my metric, the over-under in that game is 56.5. I've got a 54.5 between the Lions and the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's 2 games above 46. It's not a great slate. Do not overthink this. Your lineup should begin and end with Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkle in a Cardinal here and there and roll on.
Last week it was Patrick Mahomes lighting up the Arizona Cardinals to the tune of 5 touchdown passes. And did you put that on, that's just Patrick Mahomes doing Patrick Mahomes things, or that the Cardinals are that fucking bad?
The Cardinals are absolutely terrible, which is why you should be praying on them today with everybody except Hunter Renfrow.
No Hunter Renfrow.
They have one corner, and it's the one that will be on Hunter Renfrow all day long. They love playing Byron Murphy out of the slot.
Mm-hmm.
Today I am drunk, just hammered Gary Busey drunk on Devontae Adams.
Derek Carr,
Darren Waller.
Josh Jacobs. No.
I don't mind Josh Jacobs. Just looking at my metric, I have him he's my running back 7 today. So I don't hate it. It's just now you're getting into how many Raiders is too many Raiders.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Tao, yes. Derek Carr, he said, is there any other DFS option at quarterback than Joe Burrow?
Yes, Derek Carr. Kyler Murray, and if you have to go cheap because you're absolutely just dead broke, Carson Wentz.
No Jared Goff?
Nope.
Why not?
Out. Seacrest out.
But why?
Because they run the damn ball too much. I mean, honestly, if you're playing a quarterback in that game, why would you not just spend $400 more for the guy that's going to throw 8 jillion times, which will be Carson Wentz? Ascendo asked, why would they waste Murphy on the slot? Let's see. How do I say this nicely? Because Cliff Kingsbury is a fucking moron. That's why. It beats the hell out of me. But they love putting him in the slot.
But, I mean, I guess you go with but why not? Devontae's going to get his regardless.
Well, they'll double Devontae, and it still won't matter. They will shield the safety over Devontae Adams this entire game, and he will still eat them alive. But Cliff Kingsbury does this constantly. I don't have the metric pulled up in front of me, but I can, of how often Byron Murphy lines up in the slot. But it is astronomically high.
Right.
And against Renfro, they'll just go, that's one that we have to worry about less.
Big news of the day is Alvin Kamara's out. Alvin Kamara's out for the New Orleans Saints, which the question has already been asked by Rob Johnson. Does that make Mark Ingram a flex?
No, God, no.
No, it does not.
No, good God, no. I'll tell you who it makes more interesting to me is Taysom Hill. You're going to tell me I'm out of my mind for what I'm getting ready to say? On DraftKings, Taysom Hill is listed as only a quarterback. He is $4,400. You can do anything you want. No, he's not going to throw passes, but he is going to run a whole damn mess of times. I might have a lineup with Taysom Hill as my quarterback, and it's gross as shit. And I keep looking at it going, why am I doing this to myself?
Okay, so he'll run a whole mess of times. So that means that what's the split at quarterback with him and Jameis?
Oh, I'm not necessarily even talking about him lining up at quarterback.
Oh, you think they'll line him up at the backfield?
Just weird. There's a lot of weird things they could do with Taysom Hill.
They could run the wishbone?
When I ran the sim on this game, I had Kamara in. Without Kamara, it changes things not drastically. People overreact to players like Alvin Kamara all the time. I still think the Saints win this game. I don't buy Tom Brady. Today, among quarterbacks, I have Tom Brady at 16.
Ugh.
Behind Matt Ryan, who's playing in a fucking monsoon.
That seems off.
You have 0 healthy receivers, and the one good one you have is defended by Marshawn Lattimore, who's been his kryptonite. Yeah, I'll pass. I could see the winner of that game being first one to 17. I don't want shit. That is a game that I don't want a piece of.
Really?
There is not a player you could ask me about that I'm going to go, yeah, I'll play them. No, other than Taysom Hill. And that is the dartiest dart throw on earth. Now, if you're in ESPN leagues, Taysom Hill's a tight end.
Yep.
And he is the free space on the board this week because he's owning like 12% of leagues. And I think I account for at least 2% of that.
Yeah, I picked him up in several leagues this past weekend. Because if you're going to use him like that, then he becomes one of the top tight ends every week. You don't normally get big, giant games from tight ends. Well, I mean, aside from Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. I mean, once you get down the line, what, you're hoping – you plug a guy in and hope for 10 points. Well, Taysom Hill can get that on 2 plays the way they used him in that first week against the Atlanta Falcons.
And he only had a handful of touches. I just think there's going to be more of them this week.
With no Alvin Kamara, it definitely changes the game plan. So, no Michael Thomas for you. No Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry, none of that. You're staying away from everything in that game.
I want no one. Nobody.
Nobody, baby.
There is a league that I'm stuck playing Mike Evans. I just don't have a choice.
Well, I mean, that's the thing with Mike Evans is you want to bench him because if you know the history with him and Marshawn, it has not gone well most of the time. There have been a couple of pop games where he did have over 100 yards. I think I want to say there was a game where he had like 12 yards and 2 catches, but he scored 2 touchdowns against Marshawn Lattimore.
Justin Barton said Taysom Hill is a tight end on FanDuel. Yes, he is. And you could do worse because I hate tight end this week. With no George Kittle, it's just a wasteland of dog shit. Now, I am the tight end whisperer, which means you expect me to give at least one playable value Mo Alley-Cox.
Not Kyle Granderson?
Kylan Granson.
Yeah.
I don't mind him, but I prefer Mo Alley Cox. Now, if you want to go three-dimensional chess, and this is something that I really like doing in DraftKings this week, Isaiah Likely. Had 5 targets last week.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami Dolphins are not great at defending tight ends, except with Javon Holland. I'll give you one guess who he's going to line up on. Isaiah Likely may have 10 targets today. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because they won't waste X-Man on Andrews because he can't cover him. So they'll throw Xavier Howard on Rashad Bateman. You'll get Javon Holland on Mark Andrews, and that leaves me to defend Isaiah Likely. That's one of those three-dimensional chess. You have to get in kind of a bind, but that's a dart throw that I think could pay off for you. And I can't I think he's 2,500.
Mm-hmm.
He is 2,500. Allows you to do a mess, a whole damn mess.
Rob Johnson wants to know Hollywood Brown or Christian Kirk today. It's going to be raining in Jacksonville.
It is, and I think that puts me on Hollywood Brown. I'm checking my ranks now. I had Kirk at 12 before I knew it was raining like son of a bitch, and I had Hollywood at 7.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Hollywood Brown today. There's not anybody else to throw it to. I'm on Greg Dortch, too. Not because I think he's all that good, but because he has to – at some point, the Cardinals are going to be behind. They're going to have to throw a lot, and somebody has to catch passes. We can play a fun game of, is this an active Cardinal pass catcher today or a member of the Senate? And I don't think you would do all that well.
I think that's how you have to look at the Indianapolis Colts as well.
Andre Bacalea.
See, before I found out that it was going to be a rainstorm down in Jacksonville.
And it's not a rainstorm, it's just raining.
Yeah.
And you have one quarterback that's not played a lot in the rain, has been really bad when he has, and another that's always been better in a dome.
Mm-hmm. But with the news that Michael Pittman's going to be out
and
Alec Pierce is out, Ashton Doolin became the cheapo of the week.
And I still don't hate him. I just think you can do better. If I'm going cheap receiver, it's Greg Dortch.
That was my fallback plan.
Now, the one thing I'll tell you, he's going to be popular as hell.
Mm-hmm. Well, he should be. After he had a big week last week, you get another advantageous matchup with the Vegas Raiders secondary this week in a game that we all feel like is going to be very shootouty because there's no way that Arizona is going to stop Las Vegas.
Oh, no.
From doing whatever they want to do. So they're going to have to throw the ball 80 times.
I'm looking at projected ownerships right now. Contrarian plays that I really like. Marquise Brown is one. He's projected to be about 7% owned. Antonio Gibson, somehow he's going to be low owned, which is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the one that I can't believe I haven't said his name yet, because my metric loves him a lot. I screwed up with Dameon Pierce last week because I failed to realize one thing. They don't trust him in pass cover as a pass blocker yet, which means what happens? Rex Burkhead draws the 4th most snaps of any running back in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do it again, and he's cheap as shit. And Denver is bad.
So Rex Burkhead.
I like Rex Burkhead a lot today.
It's never a good week when it's a Rex Burkhead week.
Well, he was good last week. And Denver's – fact or fiction, Denver is good at football. Rashad Penny made them look bad in the limited amount that he actually touched the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I could easily see a path where Rex Burkhead does it today. Or he has one of those fun games where he touches it 7 times and scores twice.
Right.
I could also see that. Or this could be the week that Dameon Pierce burns my ass again. None of those scenarios would surprise me.
Paul Richardson with another Christian Kirk question. Him in the flex or Kadarius Toney?
I have a sneaking suspicion that Kadarius Toney is going to be used a lot today. Brian Daboll took way too many questions about that for him to do the same thing over again.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle to believe that's going to happen. I like Kadarius Toney. looking at my ranks, he is 24 among receivers, ahead of guys like Brandon Cooks, Devontae Parker, Cortland Sutton, Hunter Renfrow, Gabriel Davis. Yeah, I like Kadarius Toney better than all of them.
No. Gabriel Davis, is he going to play?
I don't know, but I think so.
He was a late addition to the injury report, and now he's questionable for Monday night, and that always scares me. It always scares me when you get late in the process and a guy that's playing on Monday night immediately, just all of a sudden winds up on the injury report, and you go, oh, well, shit, now I've got a decision to make. Because I got the full day to wait. If it gets worse, if he doesn't look good in warm-ups and he misses out, then you're screwed. So do you ride with him in your lineup, in your season-long lineup?
Gabriel Davis?
Yeah.
You can protect yourself one way. Pick up Isaiah McKenzie. Because worst-case scenario, you roll with McKenzie, and Christian Fulton's not going to play.
Right.
So whoever is in the slot, and Isaiah McKenzie's own, then pick up Jamison Crowder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can protect yourself. I don't want to bench Gabriel Davis if I don't have to. And I think he will play, but I am not positive of that.
Melvin Gordon or Travis Etienne for the RB2 for your cousin Colin Greene?
Melvin Gordon.
I'd agree with that.
I do not like Travis Etienne.
No, especially not in the range.
Etienne's down to 39 among – they just didn't use him.
Mm-hmm.
James Robinson got all of the between-the-tackles work.
And he'll continue to do so.
And I agree with it. I think he will again. But I'll be honest with you, even if you told me that wasn't the case, I still don't like him. Indianapolis is a good defense against the run. It's going to be raining. They're not scared of Trevor Lawrence in the rain. So, I mean, I could see seven-man fronts a lot, especially with no Darius Leonard. And I'm not really like I said, I don't want anything in that Jacksonville-Indianapolis game unless I have to. Christian Kirk, I have to. I'm too invested in that.
Mm-hmm.
So Kirk will be a play unless you have a better alternative, which is rather unlikely.
All right. J.K. Dobbins. Is he going to play?
No.
No J.K. this week.
Kenyon Drake. There'll be some weird combination of Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis and last week,
like
if you're curious about the snap count from last week, now this was against the Jets. Kenyon Drake got 33 snaps. Mike Davis had 7. Justice Hill somehow played 11. If you absolutely have to play a Baltimore Raven running back, it's Kenyon Drake. And I think you could do worse, but I wouldn't expect a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking at him in DraftKings, of which that's all of my projections are done through the DraftKings scoring system. So it translates to basically any other standard PPR scoring system. I had Kenyon Drake at 41, and I could see a path he sneaks into the top 30, but I can't imagine a way he scores more than 15. He has a pretty safe floor, but a very unsettling ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And just so we're all clear, I'm going to hit a level of caffeinated here in a minute where we're going to go as rapid fire as we did last week.
Is this the third energy drink you've had?
What do you cop?
I'm just asking.
I also had a pot of coffee because I've slept exactly 0 minutes.
I don't know how you do that.
Because I'm a witch.
You are a witch. You are a witch.
And I'm going to go, and I will be at the village porch all day just drinking my snooter off.
Good for you. Next question up in the comments here. Let's see. There's another Taysom Hill. Kenyon Drake or Breece Hall?
Well, don't glance over the Rob Johnson thinking about picking up Hill, playing him over Dalton Schultz. I cannot advocate that. You play your studs. You drafted Dalton Schultz to be your tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could it come back to bite you in the ass? I have Dalton Schultz.
He is Cooper Rush.
Yikes. I have Dalton Schultz as poopy. Yeah, I actually probably would. I would until I'd seen it. I didn't realize how big of a discrepancy there was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would. I would pick up Taysom Hill and roll him instead of Dalton Schultz.
With Cooper,
Could it burn you? Sure, but
with Cooper Rush, there's nothing I can really trust from that Dallas team.
you know why? Because that entire team is going to be
prison booty. Booty was more important than food.
Mm-hmm.
booty. That is what the Dallas Cowboys will be.
Just booty.
Just booty.
So that must mean fire up all the Cincinnati Bengals.
All of them. Cincinnati has already scored twice.
Joe Mixon, maybe the play of the day.
I like Joe Mixon a lot, and I think he's going to go low owned. People have this myth that the Cowboys defense is good. I don't know where it comes from. Joe Mixon,
Splash plays.
He's my 10. Tell you a guy that I'm on, and I'm super drunk on this guy. We got a lot of questions about him last week. A.J. Dillon. My metric has A.J. Dillon at 9 among running backs.
Where's Aaron?
25.
Jesus.
Game script. If this game blows out, who gets fucked? Aaron Jones.
It's Aaron Jones.
And this game's going to blow out.
Mm-hmm.
A.J. Dillon's one of my I wish I played extended slates where I could play A.J. Dillon on DraftKings, but I don't. I want the $1 million or nothing.
Mm-hmm. Is Mark Andrews a play today?
Yes.
From Matthew Hoffman.
Yes. It will be better this week than it was last week. The good times are going to roll with Mark Andrews. You're just not quite there yet. Because today he's going to go up against Javon Holland, and that is not going to be a fun – they have to get him going.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I do like Isaiah Likely just a whole shit ton this week.
Okay.
You know how many snaps he played last week? They only ran 52 offensive plays.
43.
He played half of them. Played 25 snaps.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like a lot until you realize that he's a second tight end that doesn't block all that well.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kohler.
And they target him, what, 4 times?
5.
5 times.
I mean, he was targeted on 20% of the plays that he was on the field.
Did he have a catch, though?
I
don't think he did.
No.
I think it was a big old goose egg for the day.
I'm just telling you that Jets defense is better than people think, which is why here's another player that I've yet to see a question on, but I do need to tell you how low I am on him this week. Nick Chubb. Where do you have Nick Chubb this week?
Nick Chubb?
Just in theory. I know you don't do rankings like I do.
Probably 12.
29.
What?
29.
That's ridiculous.
Now, Kareem Hunt, on the other hand, 15.
Okay, so you do at least have one running back from Cleveland doing something against your Jets.
Mm-hmm. Kareem Hunt has a good day. I'm telling you right now, if you line up and think you're going to go power eye with Jacoby Brissett against that Jets defense I just saw, you will not just get beat. You will get your shit pushed in.
Yeah.
Prison booty. Booty was more important than food.
If you can do anything on offense.
With Jacoby Brissett, he is good for, and I said this in the offseason, he is good for 2 of those games where you go, what in the fuck was that? And I can see one of them being today.
Mm-hmm. Now I was talking about your Jets.
Oh, no. I know what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
I could see a path the Jets force 3 turnovers today. You put Joe Falco in that good of a position that many times, eventually he's going to do something.
Okay. So would you play Breece Hall?
I have Breece Hall at 24. Breece Hall's 24. Michael Carter is – he's on the list, but he's like 43.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh mentioned about 900 times this week how he needed to get Breece Hall more involved.
Mm-hmm. Pitwinkle asks, are the games going to be available on DC Streams today?
They always are.
All of them are available. You can get local broadcasts. You can get national broadcasts. You know, I would be – hell, there was a game the other day. It wasn't in the NFL. There was a college game the other day where you could watch the booth, and it was it. Like, you didn't even have any game footage. I think it was like the Oklahoma Sooners game from last week. You could just – I mean, it was a static camera on the 2 guys in the booth, and I went, that kind of looks like our show, but this is way more boring.
Correct. There's way less chance of him saying fuck because Tommy Reese is not in their booth. If you didn't see the clip of Tommy Reese, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
So Drew Pine called up on the little phone, and they had a camera right in front of Tommy Reese, the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame, and he went absolutely ballistic. Do your fucking job.
Nice.
Everybody else is doing their job. Why can't you? He said fuck like 6 times.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Love it.
And I went, I'm sure the Catholic school loved every bit of that.
Oh, 100%. Speaking of tirades, I watched some LIV.
Hold on. We got a super chat.
Nope.
Flex, Hunt, or Samuel, I'm glad you asked this question because in my ranks, they are damn close. If you're on the Patreon, you will be able to compare receivers to running backs. I will only do that if I'm specifically asked. But I have Kareem Hunt scoring 18 points today, almost on the nose, and Curtis Samuel have 16.5. Mm-hmm. So technically I would play Kareem Hunt. I think the upside on Samuel is higher. I like him a lot.
Okay.
Especially if you get anything for carries because he is going to have at least 5. And super chats are just that easy. If you got a question you need answered right now, super chat that bad boy. She'll jump right in line.
And don't forget that all the money from the super chats this month going to Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project to help us make sure that the kids in the area who need it have something to open on Christmas morning. Pitwinkle wants to know, is Bateman a play today?
No. Not with Xavier Howard. They're not scared of anybody else, and he's not fast enough to keep up with Devin DuVernay.
In the flex, Breece Hall, George Pickens, Romeo Doubs, or Garrett Wilson from Stephentown?
Breece Hall. It's close, but Breece Hall.
Yeah. I wanted to lean toward Romeo Doubs.
I'm not. If I had to play a Packer tonight, it's Alan Lazard. I just feel like Aaron's going to have one of those I'm going to show you something games of I trust Alan Lazard, and this is what I will do when I trust you, and he'll wind up with 13 targets or something stupid like that.
So he is back this week.
Yes.
He is going to play.
And if it's not Lazard because for some reason they shadow Jalen Johnson on him, which I don't look to be I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm still learning the tendencies of that defense. If they did that, I would say it's Sammy Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 10% chance that happens.
Jonathan Kopf, Dallas go dirt, or Taysom Hill. Juju sold me, so I need a smash play PPR.
Oh, Juju fucked you. God, if I need a lot of points. God, that one's close. I'm even looking at the number, and that's still close.
Dallas or Taysom Hill?
You need an absolute smash play. A.J. Brown is going to take such target share that I think it puts a cap on what Goddard can actually do. I would go Taysom Hill. Now, just understand, it can completely burn you.
Mm-hmm.
That is as volatile as a pick as you will ever have. Because I'm not looking at the snap count right now, but I can pull it back up. Taysom Hill did not play as many snaps as you would like.
Well, no. I mean,
he played 16 snaps total.
Yeah, he's the sub-specialty package guy.
The only thing I will say is they're going to have him without Kamara. I think he plays somewhere in the neighborhood 25 to 30 snaps. Probably has 8 to 10 touches. That gives him an upside that you just don't have with Dallas Goedert.
Mm-hmm.
You need a smash play, go Hill. You want to go safe, go Goddard, because Philadelphia is going to smoke Minnesota.
Breece Hall or Kenyon Drake?
Breece Hall.
Alan Lazard or T. Higgins? From Black Cats and Hurricanes. I don't know if I've seen that name.
That one was around for the draft. I remember that guy's name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
All right.
It's T. Higgins by quite a bit. I have Lazard at 33, and I have T. Higgins at 14.
Hoffman wants to know, if I send you my roster, will you do a grade on it?
Yes.
100%. Flex pick 2 from Justin Parton. James Conner, A.J. Dillon, Jerry Jeudy, Tony Pollard. A.J. Dillon's a given.
Yep. A.J. Dillon's a given. Say them again.
I would James Conner.
James Conner is not going to be the right answer.
A.J. Dillon, Jerry Jeudy, Tony Pollard. I think I'm on Jeudy.
It's between Jeudy. For me, it's between Jeudy and Pollard. And I don't love either one, but I'm really down on Jerry Jeudy this week.
And why?
Because I think that Cortland Sutton's who I think is going to get Derek Stingley, and I am superiorly high on him.
Mm-hmm.
I got Cortland Sutton in the teens, which means somebody's going to get screwed, and it's probably Jerry Jeudy or Albert Okwuegbunam. Yeah, you could theoretically play both if you think Russ is going to throw for 360 yards again. I don't, personally, but I'm going to say Tony Pollard.
You got Texas that much better than Seattle? That they'll be able to limit Russ?
The Texans do this fun thing of we're just going to keep you in front of us, and that limits the upside for every non-Bruce. Like, I love Melvin Gordon this week. I love Javonte Williams this week. I like Cortland Sutton because I have a feeling he's going to do the same thing to Derek Stingley that Michael Pittman did because they're kind of the same receiver. I don't love Jerry Jeudy. Last week, how great was Paris Campbell? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's a great secondary, but because what they do is what they're going to try to preclude.
Ascendo wants to know, Mike Evans or Deontay Johnson?
Mike Evans by a lot.
And what defense, the Colts or the Bucks?
I will say the Bucks. I don't rank defenses because they're usually largely irrelevant unless you have the best one of the day. I will say the Bucks because there's a better outcome. It sways me a little bit that it's raining so hard in Jacksonville because that could lead to a lot of tomfoolery, but it could do the same thing on the other side. You got to be careful on preying on defenses because it's raining because their offense plays in the rain too. So you can have a lot of goofy shit happen when it's raining. I'm going to go the Bucks. If the Jets are available, I like them better. You call me a homer all you want to.
Honestly, I would go Deontay Johnson over Mike Evans.
I would not.
I would take the chance.
CL Sports Card asks, PPR Flex, Miles Sanders or Michael Thomas, Tyler Higbee or Dawson Knox. For me, it's Higbee by a mess of times. Because the one thing Tennessee has been good at over the years is slowing down tight ends from scoring touchdowns. His target share has gone through the floor. And I don't think, even if Gabriel Davis doesn't play, I don't think that's going to crank up. The Rams are going to shellac the Falcons today. And they are god-awful against tight ends. Higbee is one of my favorite weekly plays. As for the other one, Miles Sanders, I'll take Miles Sanders over Michael Thomas.
I will too.
Solely because I think Carlton Davis is going to shadow Michael Thomas. I like Jarvis Landry, and I love Chris Olave today.
He did that in both of their matchups in 2020
He did.
against Michael Thomas. And Michael Thomas did not have good games either one.
And he did it last week against CeeDee Lamb. So that has apparently not changed. Now, with New Orleans, their receivers are so close to each other because I feel like there's not a huge difference talent-wise from Michael Thomas to Olave to Jarvis Landry. Michael Thomas, the better of the three.
Okay.
But he puts you in weird positions, and I'm not as sure that Carlton Davis is going to follow him around as much. He's going to follow him. I just don't know if it's as much. Again, I think Philadelphia is going to eviscerate the Minnesota Vikings.
Again, thank you for the super chat. All of those going to Evelyn Charities for the next month. Next question up here, it looks like it is. Keep losing my place in the chat here. God damn it. And it keeps jumping every time somebody comments in.
You and technology are not friends.
Well, how do I keep that from happening?
Be better at technology.
Oh, stop that. Drafted George Kittle to be my tight end and had to play Gerald Everett this week. Well, that worked out pretty well.
Pitwinkle asked, so would you run Rex Burkhead over Cam Akers this week? 100%. Not close. Burkhead is Cam Akers is in the 40s for me this week.
West Virginia Willie wants to know running back 2, Michael Carter, Damian Harris, or Chase Edmonds?
Chase Edmonds by a lot. Chase Edmonds got the touches. Well, I shouldn't say that. He got the snaps. And I don't think their game script is going to look like it did last week. If that game's close, Chase Edmonds could have a day. Breece Hall and Michael Carter had running lanes against the Ravens last week. That's not a shot at their defense. I'm just telling you what I saw. And in terms of the snap count, Chase Edmonds played 65% of the snaps. That's good enough for me. Raheem Mostert is completely irrelevant.
Yeah. Are they going to turn Tua Tagovailoa loose on the Ravens secondary?
No. Because they damn well know how that will go.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to go well at all. I'm fading the Miami pass game this week. Running game, I guess you could do worse.
Chris D asked, who would you pick up off waivers? Christian Kirk, Garrett Wilson, Devin DuVernay, Zay Jones. Short term, long term. If I'm going short term, it's Devin DuVernay. If I'm going long term, it's Christian Watson. I think by the end of this year, they figure out how to get him touches. If you remember when they drafted him, I said there's going to be a lot of jet sweeps. There's going to be a lot of weird handoffs. Kid doesn't know how to run a route.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody blew up the fact that he lost the ball, dropped it on that big deep shot. It makes no sense to me that they threw that deep shot to him. They apparently didn't watch his college tape because he did that about 40 times. Didn't surprise me in the least. The play call did, though.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, short term it's DuVernay. Long term I'd say Christian Watson, but Garrett Wilson's close.
I would say Garrett Wilson is the choice there, but,
Problem with Garrett Wilson's going to be targets.
Yeah.
They're damn obsessed with running two tight ends, which means you're only going to have two receivers on the field the vast majority of the time. Corey Davis gets a lot of snaps, and they love Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
If it's dynasty, I'm all over Garrett Wilson. But redraft, I'm firmly on Christian Watson.
Lisa Ebenzel wants to know Amon-Ra or DJ Shark for the flex.
Amon-Ra by a lot.
Not close. It's not close at all. Amon-Ra St. Brown, since week 12 of last year, is like top 5 to 7 in every category.
He's 4 in fantasy points in PPR.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be really honest with you, that's not even why I'm answering that way.
Okay.
He has one of the best matchups in the NFL this week. He's a guy I am trying to shoehorn into DraftKings lineups because he gets Benjamin Shitty St. Just all day long because he plays predominantly out of the slot. And that is going to be borderline criminal.
Mm-hmm.
There will be people that go to bed in jail tonight for doing less than what Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to do to Benjamin St. Just.
He is Amon-Ra is on a streak of, I believe it's 7 straight games with 8 or more catches and a touchdown.
He's good at football.
Wild. He is the no doubt go-to for Jared Goff.
Matthew Hoffman asked, and I'm going to grade this for this week, Derek Carr, Saquon, Javonte Williams, Deontay Johnson, Drake London, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Mark Andrews, Jamal Williams, and the Steelers. Grade that. Your receivers are not great. You need better receivers, but everything else is just lovely.
Mm-hmm. You got DPJ in the lineup, so that's an A.
Oh, God.
Hey,
he is your
DPJ.
Auden Tate. He's not good at football.
Yes, he is.
And Jacoby Brissett is worse.
Worse than DPJ? Is that what you're saying?
M85 said it behoove you to pick up the number one guy in Jacksonville. I have him starting him solid wide receiver, too. I'm going to assume you're talking about Christian Kirk. Although, if it wasn't raining, I would like Marvin Jones a great deal today.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy is not super drunk on A.J. Dillon. He's just super drunk.
Nope, tapped out early. Realized I wasn't going to be able to go to sleep, and sure as hell did not want to get drunk, sober up while still awake.
Nice.
That is the worst.
RB2, David Montgomery or Damian Harris?
Ooh.
I would go Montgomery, I think.
I have Montgomery at 31. I'd go Damien Harris. I have Damien Harris at 28.
Really? Okay.
I like New England better today than most will. Not telling you I'm crazy about it. I did take New England, and I'm feeling better about that by the minute.
Fair enough. T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, or Darnell Mooney, half PPR from Free Tigre.
It's Marquise Brown, then T. Higgins, and Darnell Mooney is 18 light years behind them. He gets Jair Alexander, who's gotten just raked all week because Justin Jefferson ate him alive.
Mm-hmm.
Darnell Mooney's parents will forget he's on that field.
Could not agree more on the ranking there. Michael Thomas or Chase Edmonds, full PPR?
That one I'm actually going to have to check. Chase Edmonds. There. Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas. Close, but Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Full PPR is what swung
it. Do I start ETN, Drake, or Jeff Wilson? Full PPR.
Okay, I'm going to answer this question, and I wish I could just pin it to the screen.
No Jeff Wilson?
Don't do the Jeff Wilson thing. We've done this no less than 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
The starter in San Francisco gets hurt, and then everybody tries to shoehorn whoever the backup is. And you know what tends to happen? They get 8 touches. Because you're going to see Jeff Wilson, Tyron Davis-Price, and the other kid whose name is eluding me.
Ebner?
No. Treston Ebner played. Where is he? Houston? I don't remember where he is.
Maybe.
There's another running back whose
New
name
Orleans.
is completely eluding me. Jordan Mason. All of
That
them are
guy.
going to have about 30% of the snaps. And Debo will outsnap them all. Debo's one of my favorite plays on DraftKings today.
Mm-hmm.
7,800, and I could make the argument he's the best, that he's the high scorer of the week.
All right, tight end whisperer. You got to choose between Higbee, Hurst, Tanyan, or Albert O, since Kittle is out. Who are you taking?
Say him again.
Higbee, Hurst, Tanyan, or Okwuegbunam?
Okwuegbunam would be the highest ranked to me, but my immediate question would be, can you go get Isaiah Likely?
You'd take him over all those guys.
I would.
Wow.
It's close, but I would.
I don't know. I like Albert O this week. I'm waiting for Robert Tonyan to have the good week
Probably going to
with
be Wayne
Aaron
Braun.
Rodgers. Hayden Hurst was targeted a lot last week.
He was targeted a lot, but I don't think you're going to have to do that this week. This is going to be a week where they go, hey, we have this guy. His name is Jamar Chase. And when you line Trayvon Diggs up on him, we laugh a lot. And he is just going to drag you down the sidewalk.
Right. I mean, he could have a historical day today. There's no doubt. But the target's got to go somewhere after that.
Here's my problem with Tonyan, and this may answer Tonyan questions going forward. 4 tight ends played for the Green Bay Packers last week.
4 of them?
4 of them.
Wow.
What is the most snaps any one of them played? They ran 60.
16.
I think they ran 65 offensive plays.
18.
23 is the most that any tight end played. Name that tight end.
Can't. Hurts.
Mercedes Lewis. Now, name the fewest snaps any of them played.
Robert Tonyan.
Nope.
No.
Tonyan played 22. Tyler Davis and Josiah DeGuara played 15 apiece. They played 4 tight ends. Nobody played less than 15 snaps. Nobody played more than 23.
Wow.
I'm good. I now have exactly 0 U.S. shares of Robert Tonyan, and I wish I had less.
Mm-hmm. Who should I start at the flex? DK, Robbie Anderson, or Alan Lazard? Full PPR.
Robbie Anderson, I'm Seacrest out because Adoree Jackson's who will be on him because he's the speed burner, and Jackson can't keep up with DJ Moore. So they'll put him on Robbie, just completely shut Robbie down. I love DJ Moore today. Who are the others you asked?
Alan Lazard or DK Metcalf?
I know what my rankings say, but I'm not sure that I agree. I'm not because they're very close.
I was going to say DK's got to be 1.
DK and Metcalf are literally one spot. One's 32 and one's 33.
DK and who?
Lazard.
Oh, okay.
They're right on top of each other. I mean, if you have to start, is there anybody else?
No, those were the 3.
Okay, if you got to start 2 of them, it's DK and Lazard. If you have to start one of them, I'll go DK for upside alone. One thing I will tell you, though, and I'm going to keep repeating this, it's going to rain in San Francisco.
Ascendo wants you to rate his team for his money league.
Okay.
Derek Carr, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Pat Freiermuth, Josh Jacobs, the Colts defense, and Harrison Butker. Said he's fighting between Lamar Jackson and Derek Carr at the quarterback position.
Good God. Is this a 4-team league, or are you drafting with morons?
No.
Or are you just a G?
Nobody likes Derek Carr, so you got Lamar in the third round probably, and then it ended up getting Derek Carr in the 11th. Like, yeah, that was a no-brainer. And then Mike Evans and Deontay Johnson and the Colts and the Bucs. I think he asked that question earlier. I think that's a hell of a lineup. Is Gerald Everett the tight end to have going forward? Or a tight end to have going forward? Or is this just early season pop?
Rest of season ranks, I have him. He's a high-end tight end 2. I would rather have Isaiah Likely, but not by much.
Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins?
Hold on, you skipped one.
Did I?
Dawson Knox or T.J. Hawkinson. It's T.J. Hawkinson by a whole bunch.
100%. Now, Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins?
This week, Russell Wilson. Kirk Cousins in primetime. I'm out. He has a win in primetime, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't about to get his second. Eric Miller asked Breece Hall or ETN full PPR. For me, it's Breece Hall, but it's close-ish.
Yeah, I'm all in on
I
Breece
don't
Hall.
like that James Robinson's getting them between the tackles.
Yeah, no, I'm still waiting with Travis Etienne. I'm stepping back and waiting to see what happens, because after we've been sold that Travis is going to take over down there. Well, that hasn't happened yet. You had obviously
I can
got
tell you,
hurt
Doug
last year.
Peterson does not give a rat's ass about where they drafted him.
Right, and then James Robinson, he's been I'm not going to say amazing, but he's been really good. And I don't think that's going to change. Doug Peterson is a very hot-handy kind of coach.
It was a dead split. ETN played 36 snaps. James Robinson played 34. And Robinson out-touched him grossly.
M85 with with a statement here on defenses. Top streamer of the week, Cleveland. Agree or disagree?
I don't mind it, because it is Joe Flacco.
Mm-hmm.
I like the other side of that game better. I could see a path that Jacoby Brissett comes out and has that game that he had against Buffalo. If you remember, that was his first shot in Miami. This is his first shot in Cleveland. I cannot remember exactly how this stat went. His first 2 games at home as a starter for Indianapolis and for the Dolphins, his combined QBR is like 6. And I won't be shocked if it happens again today, because they don't have anybody that can beat them over the top. If you look at how Baltimore beat the Jets last week, it was off 3 big chunk plays. That's all they did. The rest of it, Sauce Gardner had Mark Andrews completely locked up. DJ Reed was the number 1 rated corner in the fucking league.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Bryce Hall's dumbass, that game probably would have ended 6-3. I got news for you. Cleveland doesn't have anybody that can stretch this team out. That's why I hate every bit of Cleveland today.
Okay.
Because you could see a Dookie in the Punch Bowl, and you could see $2,200 New York Jets score 25.
Steven Tao says he grabbed the Bengals defense in a couple of places.
It's a hell of a play today.
Great play. I think they are I think that's the cheap defense on DFS to have today.
Stone Sports Podcast asked a fucking brilliant question, and it's a name I did not think I was going to get to today.
Last flex spot in a deep dynasty league. Pick one, DPJ, Jacoby Myers, Corey Davis.
Jacoby Myers by a shit ton. Like by 8,000 times. DPJ probably draws sauce, which means you will forget he's on this field.
Not Amari.
I think DJ Reed's going to be on Amari. He ran as the one. They tend to, or at least the tendency that I have seen through the preseason and through the first game, they put Sauce on the bigger of the main targets. of which DPJ will be the second. And it could be Njoku. I could be completely wrong. He may do the same thing he did last week and line up on Njoku to just take him out. But I think it's DJ Reed on Amari, which makes me hate Amari Cooper. He's not big enough to take advantage of DJ Reed. That's why I love the pairing of Sauce and Reed. Reed's so small, he can take the shiftier of the corners, and it takes all of the negative away from Sauce. Okay, you go defend the bigger one that can't outshift you because you're 17 feet tall. I'm either going to be famously wrong about this Jets thing, or I'm going to sit back and laugh and go, hey, I told you that defense was good.
Meanwhile, in the Pittsburgh-New England game, who's Jacoby Myers get in that secondary?
Depends on how they line up.
Sutton?
It's not going to be anybody great. And you know how I know that? Because Pittsburgh doesn't have anybody great. And with no T.J. Watt, you're going to see that shit really fast. I'm looking at the base alignment now. Base alignment will be Sutton, who had a good week last week, and you're quickly going to figure out that, he's not that good.
All right, so between DPJ, Jacoby Myers, and Corey Davis, you say Jacoby Myers by a mile.
By a whole shitload. I actually like Jacoby. That was the name I was talking about that I didn't think I was going to be able to get to at any point today. I have 3 Patriots in my top 40. Solely because I cannot figure out which one's going to go off. I think it's Devontae Parker. But I like Kendrick Bourne, I like Devontae Parker, and I like Jacoby Myers. I will take the shot because one of them's going to have a good week.
Pennywise wants to know Ayuk or Thomas for the flex. I'm guessing that's Michael Thomas, and to me, that's not close.
With it raining, it's not close. It's Michael Thomas.
Right. Brandon Ayuk is not. I don't think I want anything but Deebo Samuel if I have him in that game.
I don't mind Ayuk. I'll tell you what takes me off of Ayuk. I think he's going to get Tariq Woolen, and it's entirely likely that he has one of those games where he takes 3 shots at Ayuk and has 1 defensive holding and 2 pass interferences.
Right.
Which you get exactly 0 points for.
Exactly. Mixon or Barkley? Jesus, that's a hell of a question.
Both.
Yeah.
They're both in my top 10. But now,
I'm guessing this has to be a DFS question.
I would wager so, yes. But for posterity's sake, Saquon Barkley's my 2 at running back. Christian McCaffrey's 1, Jonathan Taylor's 3.
Joe Mixon's 6.
Joe Mixon's 10.
Oh, 10. Okay.
I'm afraid it gets dicey when they're up by 57 on the Dallas Cowboys.
And then
they're going to score until they get tired of scoring.
And then do they turn to Captain America? Is he still
possibly
there?
Chris Evans, Travion Henderson, Samaje Perine. That's what I'm afraid of, is that at the end you're going to look at the box score at the end of that game and go, hey, Joe Mixon had 13 touches, and damn near all of them were in the first half.
Who you taking, Freiermuth or Zach Ertz?
Zach Ertz. It's not nearly as close as I made it sound either. I like Zach Ertz a lot this way. If I didn't have a fear that Ertz is more hurt than they're letting on, it wouldn't be close. Projecting Zach Ertz, full snap count today, he's my tight end 4. I have him ahead of T.J. Hawkinson. Now, if he doesn't get the full accompaniment of snaps, then that could be a problem. But I'm going to roll the dice on it. I'll go Zach Ertz.
Okay, I would be on Freiermuth on that one, so that should help your decision with Zach Ertz even that much better. I just feel like if that game is going to be played in close quarters, which we agree it will be, right? It's not going to be a stretch them out kind of, chuck it down the field.
You're going to have to tell me which game you're talking about.
Pittsburgh and New England. It's going to be played in close quarters. I like Pat Freiermuth to get a bunch of targets in that scenario.
Bill's really good at taking away what you want to do, and Freiermuth is the one that it really appeared Trubisky had a rapport with. Plus, he gets Kyle Duggar, and everybody else gets the shitty graveyard that is New England Patriot corners.
Should I be scared to play DeAndre Swift this week? No.
Yes.
Why?
Snap count. He's on a pitch count. He's hurt again. Who's shocked? You should be scared. I will not touch him in DFS this week.
Okay.
But now in season long, you're not going to have a better alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find there was a report out about this very thing. It's not 100% that he's going to go. This is from Ian Rappaport. Swift, who is listed as questionable, is expected to play Sunday versus Washington, but could have his role reduced. Seacrest out. Because the last time I heard them say that, he played like 15 snaps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. One thing I will give Dan Campbell, first of all, I really like him. Two, he is very friggin' honest.
Rob Johnson's asking for you to put up the link to the DraftKings again.
Just did it.
Okay, good for you. Way to stay on top of that. How do you feel about Jahan Dotson today?
It depends on where you're asking me this for. If you're asking me for this in a league, it's fine. DraftKings, stay the fuck away from him because he is going to be ridiculously high owned. I'm looking at the projection right now, and I cannot find him. I know he's high. 10.5%, and I think that's low. I want a commander receiver, and in order, it's Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. I like Curtis Samuel a lot today. And I could see him being the one that goes low owned.
Ascendo wants to know if there is a major player prop or any wager that he should be throwing 100 on.
Oh, let's look. Get to another question, and I'll look at I have a sharps list of props because you can absolutely you can drown in player props.
Mm-hmm. Sloan Jordan wants to know DK or Kenyon Drake, so DK or KD for his flex spot.
It's DK. I don't love it, but it's DK.
Mm-hmm.
The first prop that just jumped off the table to me was Joe Burrow total passing yards. Over 264.5.
Over.
He might do that in the first half.
Over. Massively over.
He's also total touchdown passes, 1.5. Unless you think Joe Mixon's scoring 4 times, that's the easiest, essential. And now you're not getting good odds on it. It's minus 170 on touchdown passes, minus 135 on yards, but it's a fucking layup.
Mm-hmm. What's Amon-Ra? Look at Amon-Ra's props. I'd be interested to see what they got him at today.
I would say his is probably a pretty solid layup, too.
With
shitty odds, because that's how that tends to go.
That's what I was thinking.
Amon-Ra is I was hoping there was a Deandre Swift total yards, but there's not. 64.5.
Over.
He's also plus 165 to score a touchdown. Holy in.
Do they pay you twice if he scores twice?
No.
Shamar Sam just joining us here apparently because
we're like an AA meeting for sports. Welcome in
to the Sportsocracy. Darnell Mooney or Curtis Samuel?
Curtis Samuel by 84,000 times.
Yep.
Darnell Mooney's face may be on a milk carton before this is all said and done. Because Jair Alexander is pissed.
Shamar's got to make the call because, of course, Michael Pittman not playing today.
Trust me. I checked my exposure. I'm in 37 season-long fantasy leagues.
Is that accurate?
That is 100% accurate. Do you know how many of them have Michael Pittman in?
22.
You're too low. It's 31. I have Michael Pittman in 31 of my 37 leagues.
Yikes.
And yes, I'm in 37 leagues. No, I don't have a life. And yes, my wife is a fucking smoke show. No, I do not know how those three things go together.
Where is Jamal at? Jamal Williams ranked for you this week in PPR? Satisfied Browns fan wants to know.
The PPR hurts him because he doesn't get involved in the pass game much. But I did knock DeAndre Swift down because of the role, which pushed him up. Jamal Adams is a mid-tier running back 3. Solid flex play. Guys, I would play him over Cam Akers, every running back for the Buffalo Bills, Travis Etienne, Kenyon Drake, Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, ask me where Ezekiel Elliott is among running backs this week.
Where is Ezekiel Elliott among running backs
42.
This week?
Let's go.
I can't say that I really disagree. Sloan has a trade question here.
I love trade questions.
So a guy in his league drafted Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes to stockpile quarterbacks.
Great
Shocker
strategy.
of shockers, it backfired, and now he needs wide receivers and running backs.
Didn't backfire. Because one of you needs a quarterback. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. Well, apparently Sloan needs the quarterback, and so he says he's considering Wentz and DK for Josh Allen. I don't know that he would take that.
It depends how desperate he is.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is a back-end QB1. DK's a low-end wide receiver 2. I mean, if he'd take it, do it in a heartbeat.
Yep. But his rationale was, I'll give him a wide receiver 1. For
If
his
he'll
trouble.
do it, you do it in a heartbeat.
I don't know that DK's a wide receiver 1 anymore, though.
He's not. He's not, and he's not even close. He's barely a wide receiver 2 for me.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this guy still values him that way.
Absolutely.
That's
He is universally across the industry valued higher than he should be.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's a head case. He's a head case that got paid. That always ends so well, especially when your quarterback is Geno Smith.
Oh, Sloan says I took Derek Carr in the 12th to be my starter.
Bingo.
Shame on me for thinking that he would.
Rob Johnson has moved to the front of the line with a super chat.
Hey,
Those
there
all
we go.
go to the Evelyn Charity St. Nicholas Project through the month of September. Should I move Kareem Hunt to running back 2 out of the flex, Curtis Samuel to the flex, and bench Swift with the injury? Yeah, actually, I think you should. And can it burn you? You have to know that it can burn you aggressively. But if I had to play a Browns running back this week, it's Kareem Hunt. It's not even close. Curtis Samuel is one of my favorite value plays of the week, and the injury with DeAndre Swift makes me nervous.
Mm-hmm. I think there's too much of a chance that burns you, though.
DeAndre Swift's about as tough as a pudding cup. So he's got a nagging injury. There's a good chance he's going to be sitting on the sideline with a towel on his head second quarter.
Sucking his
I've
thumb.
seen him do it way too many times.
All right, fair enough. Sell me on Isaiah Likely. I like him, but I'm struggling to see his fantasy relevance right now.
Oh, I could do it. Find another question. Give me 45 seconds to set this up, and I promise you I can do it in no less than 10 words.
M85 says he's starting the Cleveland defense, but Cincinnati is available, no waiver. Should he go Bengals instead of the Browns?
Yes.
Yes. You have a lot of opportunity for Cincinnati just to shut down Dallas this week. And Cooper Rush, hell, he could throw 4 picks.
Okay, here's how I sell you on Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely played 25 snaps last week against a team that was really good defensively and did a great job of shutting down his buddy Mark Andrews. Didn't shut him down, especially when Sauce wasn't on him. In those 25 snaps, he drew 4 targets. Conversely, Mark Andrews had 7 targets in 47 snaps. They're throwing to Isaiah Likely at the same rate that they're throwing to Mark Andrews. And they're going to keep doing it because their receivers are poopy. Isaiah Likely is the 3 in that offense. And how many times have we seen tight ends be relevant with the Ravens? Mm-hmm. They love him. Unequivocally love him, and there is really nobody to compete with him for snaps. Because, see, the problem is when you put James Proche out there, it tips off that it's a pass because he couldn't block my wife. So you see him out there and go, all right, one of 2 things is happening. They're either running away from him or this is a pass. So they trot Isaiah Likely out there because he can at least fictitiously block. He's not a great blocker, but he can do enough that you don't know exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I love Likely, and he's stupidly talented. I've almost convinced myself to play him as my tight end in DraftKings today.
Stoned Sports Podcast wants to know, Michael Thomas is 5,800. Tell me why I shouldn't do that today.
I can't. I cannot tell you. I can give you a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because his name's not Devontae Adams, Amon St. Brown, or Curtis Samuel. That's why I'm not doing it. But I can't fault you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a little afraid of Carlton Davis. And I got a sneaky suspicion about Olave today. I don't know what it is. Your safeties suck.
except for Antoine Winfield.
Who's not a coverage guy. When I'm talking about a deep threat and I say your safeties suck, I don't really fucking care about the guy that's going to come up and lay the hammer in the run game. I care about the one that's going to drop and watch Chris Olave run by him like Speedy Gonzalez. That's the one I'm talking about.
Right.
I have a weird feeling on Olave today. I might have a fiver on Chris Olave anytime touchdown scorer today.
Full PPR, Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, Mark Ingram, or DK. Pick two.
Okay, you're going to say it again. I got
Kenyon Drake, Chase Edmonds, Mark Ingram, DK Metcalf. Pick two.
DK Metcalf and Chase Edmonds. You could tell me Mark Ingram was the only running back on the team. I'm still out.
Kenyon Drake or Jeff Wilson in another league.
Kenyon Drake. I think Baltimore wins pretty convincingly, and they showed that he's going to get the lion's share of the snaps. Now, how many touches it leads to, I don't know. Because it wasn't a crazy amount last week, and he was not very productive with them.
Black Cats and Hurricanes wants to know, is Baker Mayfield going to carve up the Giants' defense like a jack-o'-lantern?
No. But I do love DJ Moore today. Love DJ Moore today. I think they're going to try to get Christian McCaffrey going today. If you can afford it, he's a great play on DraftKings. Because the Giants' linebacking core is disastrous, and that tends to lead to good Christian McCaffrey weeks.
And you may be able to do that with some of the savings that you can find at other positions today.
Andrew Weddle.
Yep, stuck at this point. Do I wait on the news for Gabriel Davis, or do I put in Michael Carter? He's got McKenzie on the bench just in case.
As long as you have Isaiah McKenzie, you wait on Gabriel Davis.
No love for Michael Carter.
It's not that I don't have love for Michael Carter. When Robert Saleh has said we have to get Breece Hall more involved about 716 times, that tells me that he's going to outsnap Michael Carter this week. And could very easily have a big old biggin.
Ascendo says we can parlay props here, so I'd do Burrow over 264 passing and his touchdowns. And I really, really like Mitchell Trubisky over the half a touchdown.
As long as it's not passing touchdowns.
At plus
as long as I get total touchdowns on Mitch Trubisky, I'm fine. I don't want to lock him in because he is one of those that will get to the 4-yard line and call his own number. As long as it's total touchdowns, I agree wholeheartedly.
Justin Parton's got James Conner or Ezekiel Elliott.
Go to your garage and grab a hammer and hit yourself right in the dinger with it. Because that's basically what you just asked me. If I had to pick one, it's James Conner. Let me go to the old videotape and see if I can't find a running back that's probably widely available that I like better than them. J.D. McKissick. I like him better than both of them. And it's actually not all that close. The Arizona Cardinals cannot run a greasy peg up a cat's ass.
So awful. I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from.
And I'm just throwing this out there because I know Justin Parton, and I know he's thick-skinned, and I love that about him. You somehow drafted the two running backs I told you to stay away from like they were AIDS-infested and on fire.
Ezekiel Elliott, no love for him doing anything on the ground against the Bengals today.
Good hell no.
And James Conner.
Jerry Jones has a better chance of having a good day today than Ezekiel Elliott.
Is the proverbial poo in your punch bowl. Gabe Davis or Deontay Johnson?
Gabe Davis by a lot.
I'd go Johnson on that.
No, I don't think that's even close.
Really?
I don't think that's even close.
But New England, who are they going to put on him?
What is the high side for passing yards from Mitch Trubisky? High side. Best this could possibly go.
270?
You're drunk. I'd have said 225 all day.
Okay.
And you got to satiate Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris. Doesn't leave a whole lot. And if you start feeding Deontay Johnson, what is Bill going to do? Okay, that's what they want to do. I'm going to shut that guy down. I wish there was an anytime prop for most yards for the leading receiver from Pittsburgh. I would go under 47.5 aggressively, unless one of them caught a 50-yard pass.
Okay.
That game is going to be a sludge fest.
Satisfied Browns fan says, watch David Bell in Cleveland today. Predicting a bump for him.
That's and I'm not just kissing your ass here, Browns fan, because you're one of our great supporters. That's a good call because slot guys are what have burned the Jets' ass between the preseason and week 1. It's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the 2 outside receivers, and I cannot say that emphatically enough. But that's probably not a bad call. David Bell does strike me as the kind of guy that's going to leak out behind the Jets and hit at some 60-yarder on Bryce Hall, which is going to lead me to say obscenities in public. And if you want to hear that, join me at the Village Porch, North Asheville, 41 North Merriman Avenue.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out there this afternoon, enjoying all the football. They'll have all the televisions on and various drink and food specials as well for your football Sunday. Ascendo has confirmed it is total touchtowns.
As long as it's total touchdowns, I'm in.
And, yeah.
I got to get my other energy drink. Hold on a second. Oh.
It's time for another energy drink. This will be number 4. Again,
Fading.
Not trying to play the cop, just keeping count.
I'm fading.
So that I'm keeping count so that I can tell the doctors later when you have the heart attack.
Here's the thing. When the apocalypse happens, the only thing left will be Twinkies, cockroaches, and me.
Twinkies, cockroaches, and you.
You could shoot me, I'll spit the bullet back at you. I'm tougher than a truck stop prostitute, so just always remember that.
Unless you get the sniffles. And then I'm told that, like every other man, you're dead.
Nope, I just want you to get the fuck
dead.
away from me. I'm, still pretty tough then. I just don't want anybody anywhere near me. Satisfied Browns fan said, Beard, you should go live at halftime. I may actually go up to my house and do that. I thought about doing that last week, but, well, I ended up 14 domestic lights in by third quarter of the 1 o'clock games. So unless you wanted to hear me go full Gary Busey with teeth that are too big for my head, you wouldn't have enjoyed it.
Logan Trevino, like an AA meeting for sports. Welcome into the Sportsocracy. Says he's new to the channel.
We love new people. Like an AA meeting, you can put your drug of choice in the comments. Mine has always been Devontae Parker.
Full PPR. Amon-Ra St. Brown starting currently. However, he has Christian Kirk and Jarvis Landry on the bench.
You draft good.
Not sure whether he should swap St. Brown for one of them. No,
nope.
Sir. No, sir.
First of all, you draft real good. And, yes, I know that's grammatically inaccurate. It's kind of my thing. It's the West Virginia in me. Yeah, St. Brown's one of my favorite plays of the day. Benjamin St. Juste is about as bad of a corner as I have ever seen. Namely because they're playing their biggest corner in the slot, which does not make any sense to me. They don't employ me, so fuck them.
Right.
But no, I would go Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's see here. Have we had any breaking injury news?
Inactives will be out in about 13 minutes, and we will still be live for that. Ascendo asked, are you digging on Trubisky for Pitt's struggles? You keep saying there's more Bell, even with, I'm very lost on that question. You got to understand, I'm running on 0 sleep, so a run-on sentence is going to be very difficult for me. Rephrase that question. We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Shamar Sam, I don't want to overthink this, but I just heard you say you weren't high on Connor this week, so do I start A.J. Dillon over him? Let me say this as emphatically as I can. A.J. Dillon's one of my favorite plays this week. I'm pissed that I can't play him on DraftKings. Oh, Parton clarified his Zeke Connor question was a dynasty. We've all been there. That's why I don't invest in running backs in dynasty.
Yeah. Interesting. Dobbins out of
he will not
first aid bar yet? No,
he will not.
No, he's not.
He will not play today.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins is out today. As is Alvin Kamara. If you're just joining us and have not heard that news, that came out late last night that he will not be playing, or that he will be likely out for the game today.
Is it sad that we're at a point in life where I have to go to Twitter to find inactive? Just irritates me. I hate Twitter so much.
What? Why does that irritate you so much?
Because that's where all those people that piss me off live.
Oh, well, that's true.
They all live on Twitter just going, ooh, can I fuck your day up?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes, you can. Every single time, and it never fails.
Black Cats and Hurricanes, I've got nothing for you on the NASCAR last night. I was supposed to go to Bristol last night. It just didn't work out.
Wait, so you were supposed to go, and you still didn't show up until 4 minutes before the cameras turned on?
Yeah, well, shit happens, and, that's the best I got. Best I got for you without getting into personal shit. Anyway.
Yeah, don't get into personal shit.
Yeah, not going to do that. Not going to do that. So, seeing Chris Godwin is out for the Bucs. We all know that. They don't have a healthy receiver at all. Mike Evans is banged up.
They're all dead.
Yep. Mike Evans is banged up. Julio Jones is dealing with some nagging injury. Nobody's shocked by that. I still think he's a play today.
Who?
Julio.
He's broken half.
He's not broken in half. If he was broken in half, he wouldn't be playing.
Well, he's 3,700 years old. And he hurt his. As a matter of fact, Jeff Darlington. It's not looking good for Julio to play in New Orleans today.
Oh, fuck.
7 minutes ago. That was well timed. Thank you, Jeff Darlington.
Good job.
Good for you.
Well, then yeah, it's gonna be a fun game.
Russell Gage then becomes a. Russell Gage is
He's hurt
slowly. Yeah, but he's not as hurt as everybody else. God, he's 4,800 on DraftKings.
I heard he was more of a question than Julio yesterday.
Nope. Expected to suit up. And that came from Rap Sheet at 6:09 this morning. I'm probably more versed on this than you because I was up at 6:09 this morning. And by I was up, I mean I was still awake.
Good grief. I still don't see how you're alive. But caffeine does that for you.
As I stated, when the apocalypse happens, Twinkies, cockroaches, and me.
Jonathan Taylor. I want to ask this question. Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he's 9,900 on DraftKings today, but do you care?
Nope, no shot. Won't touch him.
You won't touch him.
Won't touch him because and this gets into DraftKings strategy, so give me a little platitude. Jonathan Taylor, I have scoring 26 points today. That puts him at 2.6x. Here's the list of running backs that are worse than him by value for me today. Kareem Hunt, because he's very expensive for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre Swift, Leonard Fournette, Cordero Patterson, Rashad Penny, Nick Chubb, James Robinson. Here's what you have to understand on DraftKings. If Jonathan Taylor is 9,900 and Saquon Barkley is 7,300, Saquon can actually score about 4 less points, and he's still fine because you're looking for the value per player. Yes, you can play Jonathan Taylor. The chances of him going for 40 are slim to none, and Slim just left. That's what he would have to do. 200 is going to be a formidable score today because the lines are tight. There's not a lot of great value. Across the entire slate, I have 0 running backs that I project at 4X. I have a quarterback in Derek Carr. I have a receiver in Greg Dortch. Nope, 2, Ashton Doolin. And a tight end in Mo Alley Cox. Oh, and Isaiah Likely at 4.9. So if you can get to 200, more power to you. If you think Jonathan Taylor's going to go out and put up 40, absolutely. He should be the first person in your lineup. First person in my lineup, Deebo Samuel. Didn't think about it. Don't outsmart yourself. Just put him in there. And then I have lineups with Derek Carr that I have Devontae Adams. I have a little diversity.
Okay. The Colts without any wide receivers is the reason I asked that question, obviously. No
but here's
the
Pierce, problem.
No Michael Pittman.
And here's the problem. Jacksonville knows that too. You could see 9-man fronts because they are not scared of Paris Campbell at all.
There's also no Shaq Leonard for the defense for the Indianapolis Colts. So what does that mean for you with Jacksonville?
Not nary a damn thing.
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, unless DeForest Buckner got abducted by space aliens overnight, which, again, I feel like I would know that. It means nothing to me. Indianapolis is going to win this game. It's going to be a gross fest. You're going to want nothing from it. Before I found out it was raining, I was completely ready to come in here and say the DraftKings Millionaire winner is going to have a Colts receiver. It's just a question of who.
Mm-hmm.
And I was completely prepared to say it was Ashton Doolin. But not now.
But not now.
Stone Sportscast threw out the top 5 available in my league right now. I stopped reading it Rex Burkhead because that's the one I would go with. Don't mind Kenyon Drake. Just as soon as J.K. Dobbins is healthy, he becomes completely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Williams. I don't mind him today, and I don't mind McKissick today.
Does Jamal Williams have standalone value going forward?
Yes.
As a RB3?
Somewhere in there. If something ever happened to DeAndre Swift, he'd be a mid-tier RB2. Because there's not really another living, breathing running back on that roster.
Do the 49ers lose again in the rain today?
Oh, good hell no.
It's raining against the Seattle Seahawks. Now, you said the same thing on Monday night.
Just because the Rainy City Bitch Pigeons live in the rainy land of Seattle does not mean they're going to be good in the rain.
But will the 49ers be that bad in the rain is the question.
Nobody
thought
could
that
see
they would have
Trey
lost
Lance
to the
actually rushing for 100 yards by himself today.
Nobody would have thought they'd have lost to the Chicago Bears last week.
And
but
that
they
was
did.
in a monsoon.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little different. This is not a monsoon. This is a light sprinkling. This is not even enough to get me off of Deebo Samuel, if that tells you anything.
Okay. So the forecast has lightened up then because it was projected to be heavy.
It was never like monsoon.
No. I mean, those games are going to be few and far between.
I will check it one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do. Can be locally heavy.
Mm-hmm.
The wind is going to blow like a son of a bitch, though.
13-mile-an-hour winds.
20 to 30.
20 to 30 is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wind advisory. Yeah, I don't like it. Ugh. God, I don't want anything in that game.
He just can't catch a break. Trey Lance cannot catch a break with the weather these first 2 games.
Nate F. just got here, so sorry if you already answered this. No problem. That's what we're here for. Are you in on Paris Campbell or Ashton Doolin? If I had to play a Colt, it'd be Ashton Doolin. Paris Campbell is a deep threat to the highest extreme. It is raining. May not rain hard, but it's Matt Ryan outside.
Mm-hmm.
I like Ashton Doolin. A good bit.
And I don't think he's
but not as much as I did. Greg, if you're playing a cheap receiver, Greg Dortch is almost a free spot on the wheel.
At 3,500.
It's 3,500, and you also got to realize there's nobody else on the team. It's Marquise Brown and him.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
Because Rondale Moore's out. DeAndre Hopkins is still suspended.
Mm-hmm.
I think they only have 4 healthy receivers. And then you get into the tight ends. It's Zach Ertz and Max Williams, who never catches passes.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trey McBride's still hurt.
That's going to be such a high-scoring game. Arizona and Las Vegas today.
They have 4 healthy receivers. Marquise Brown, A.J. Greene, who I want nothing to do with, Greg Dortch, and Andre Bucelia.
Woo!
I'm saying it how it's spelled. If you want me to say it somehow else, spell your fucking name right.
Spell it different.
And then they have 4 tight ends, 2 of which don't ever catch passes. Trey McBride is actually back.
Mm-hmm. Colin Green says, don't be surprised if Kamara plays. He usually forces himself to get out there.
Yeah, I will be stunned if he plays.
I don't believe he will.
I will be stunned if he plays only because and it won't be his choice. They'll just deactivate him.
Yeah.
We're not going to put you in pads.
Why would I do it? Why would I if he's banged up, if he's nicked up to the point where it's a question whether or not he's going to be able to go full strength or whatever, or even at 85%, I'm not throwing him out there in week 2. I don't give a shit about this game. I want to go the rest of the season and have him healthy.
Jonah asked, with Kamara out, I'll lean to start Ingram. I wouldn't. Tampa Bay's still a good run defense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. There is nothing about Mark Ingram that is tickling my pickle today. But it's just because there's so many other running backs I like. Rex Burkhead is readily available. I like Rex Burkhead a lot today.
Jamison Elson says he's got 3 spots to fill, 2 running backs and a flex. Here are his choices. He's got Cordero Patterson, Miles Sanders, Josh Jacobs, T. Higgins, Elijah Moore, and Jarvis Landry.
2 running backs and a flex. So I'm going to go Sanders, Jacobs, and T. Higgins.
God, it's tough to lay off of T. Higgins. It's tough to lay off of that against the Dallas
Bengals
Cowboys.
are going to just throttle Dallas.
Right. The only thing I'm looking at is Cordero Patterson and going, maybe against the Rams, that'll...
Oh, my bad, John. I didn't see the second part of your question. Between Lazard, Curtis Samuel, and Kadarius Toney, which 2 should I start? Curtis Samuel's the given for me.
Agreed.
Depends on what you need. If you need a safe play, it's Lazard. If you need high upside, it's Kadarius Toney. I think the Giants are going to try to get Kadarius Toney started today. I could see him having a really good game. I could also see him throwing up a 2 where he plays 15 snaps. I can't remember the snap count last week, but I remember it was not good.
Is Kyler Murray...
He played 7 snaps last week with Wan'Dale Robinson hurt.
Is Kyler Murray regressing as a fantasy quarterback?
No, the team is regressing.
Mm-hmm.
He will always be a threat as a fantasy football player. The problem is he's not a very good real-life quarterback, and teams are figuring out how to defend him. This is going to get a little three-dimensional chess, but what always made Kyler Murray such a dynamic threat was that he could take off and run. Well, teams have figured out he can only roll to one side. So you send pressure the opposite way. Okay, now you've just pushed him out of the pocket. Send pressure the way he wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
End of message, repeat the line. Because then he winds up as a little short fucker that's sitting in the pocket and can't throw over anybody that's blitzing him. All you got to do is put your hands up.
Yeah, and trying to throw
and
across
it makes
his body.
him completely irrelevant. Chiefs did it all game long last week. Chris Jones ate Will Hernandez's lunchbox over and over and over again. It's not that he's regressing. He's the same guy he always is. The league's just figured him out. Now, you get rid of Cliff Kingsbury, find somebody with a little bit of innovation, maybe we can talk. Nate F. said apparently Kamara is in. Excuse me?
That's what I'm checking on. Not expected to play. Reportedly out.
Everything I'm seeing is out.
Yeah, this must be late breaking somewhere. We'll try to track that down.
Adam Schefter, Alvin Kamara now officially inactive. No Alvin Kamara.
Okay. Somebody's trying to fuck with you.
Possibly.
Like, hey, you realize he is going to play. Put him in your lineup.
No.
Fuck you, dude. Trying to sabotage my lineup. Rob Johnson wants to know if he should drop Chase Claypool for Jahan Dotson.
You had me at drop Chase Claypool.
You're just completely out on him.
Mitch Trubisky can't do what he does. He is easily the 4th weapon in that offense. Yeah, I'm good. They can't sustain. Mitch Trubisky cannot sustain 4 targets. Deontay Johnson will always, to some point, get his. Pat Freiermuth is always going to some point get his. George Pickens, he's a rookie. So his snap count's going to be low. You'll see Claypool out there. Claypool will be the decoy over the top until teams figure out that Mitch Trubisky is never going over the top. And then he becomes completely irrelevant. Then you need a big-bodied receiver that can go out there and actually win with 50-50 balls at the point of the catch. Chase Claypool can't do that. This is not what he does. Claypool does one thing. He bees fast real well. And he is great spotting deep balls. It's just not what Trubisky does. Now, if somehow Kenny Pickett wound up the starter, that would probably change things a little bit. But I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Smokey the Cat. Don't know that I've seen that one before.
Oh, yeah, we have. Smokey's been around forever. Okay. Smokey's a great one.
Forever. What's up,
guys? He must have to work in the weekdays because we see him on almost all the things we do on weekends.
Okay.
Which we greatly appreciate.
He says, what's up, guys? Pick 4 PPR. Ayuk, Renfro, Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery, Ezekiel Elliott, or Darrell Henderson?
Darrell Henderson is the no doubter. Pick 4. I'll go Hunt. Let's see, there's 6 in that, so I got to take 2 out. I'll go take out Zeke and Ayuk.
Okay, so Renfro, Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery, and Darrell Henderson.
Yep. I don't feel great about Renfro solely because he's going to get Byron Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel better about him than everything else.
And it's game script for Darrell Henderson. Rams get out so much that they're just going to pound the ball.
They like to run anyway. They got away from it because they didn't get anywhere. One of the great myths is that Sean McVay just comes out and throws it all over the yard. He's been top 10 in rushing percentage every year he's been a coach in the league. Lisa asked, who gets more targets, Kadarius Toney or Christian Kirk? I will say Christian Kirk. The rain makes me nervous, but the fact Kadarius Toney played 7 snaps last week makes me more nervous. But now with Wan'Dale Robinson not being in the game plan because he's hurt, I do think that changes things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind Toney. Christian Kirk is way safer.
Jonna says, I have Burkhead on my bench. Should I start him over Ingram?
Yes.
Yes.
1,000 times yes.
Yes.
I love Rex Burkhead today.
And hate Mark Ingram today.
I hate Mark Ingram every day.
He pissed in your cornflakes at some point.
No, he's just one of those people that wears one of those dumbass fucking numbers that doesn't make any sense to me. So he's just, I'm number 17. What are you, a punter? 5, I get. 17 or 13 or whatever the hell number he is.
Right.
Stop that.
ETN or McLaurin, half PPR. That's McLaurin, and it ain't close for me.
It is me too. Ascendo asked, who runs their mouth? We were talking about Chase Claypool. Without even looking to see who said it, I will practically promise you they're talking about Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
Slasher said he's got the Steelers in the money line. You can tell me I'm crazy, and I know I have banged the Steelers drum all offseason. I have this funny feeling that New England's going to come in there and find some stupid way to win this game. I don't know how they're going to do it. It doesn't make any sense.
Who is it?
New England and Pittsburgh.
New England will figure a way.
There are just times you can look at the betting trends and go, something is fucked up there. And when you see 72% of the money on New England catching 3 in Pittsburgh, somebody knows something that I don't know. Because the sharp money is all over New England.
All right, Julio Jones is inactive for the day.
Bye, Julio.
Sorry, Julio. Not going to happen.
Good God, who are your receivers today?
Mike Evans, Russell Gage,
Brashad Perriman. Scotty Miller. That made you feel good. When I said that out loud, did it make you want to puke in your shoes?
That's fine. It's fine.
James Proche is inactive today for Baltimore, which means they have, like, a receiver. That kid. Keep going.
What?
I'm thinking out loud. Good Lord. They have 4 healthy receivers. Isaiah Likely and Nick Boyle's inactive. So they only have 3 tight ends, and one of them's Josh Oliver.
Yikes.
Isaiah Likely.
Let's see who else is out today.
I usually hate rookie tight ends.
Just from the Bucs Saints, you got Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Donovan Smith, and Alvin Kamara.
Oh, and Kyle Trask.
Oh, well, I mean,
that's gone well for you.
That's definitely not going to be
great pick.
Not going to be great.
It's a great pick.
J.K. Dobbins, Ronnie Stanley's out. Shaq Leonard.
Uh-oh. Hate to break it to you, Browns fans. No Bryce Hall today for you to pick on. That subbitch is inactive.
There you go.
That is one person I do not have to swear at all day long. God, Jets +7. I can't believe I'm doing this. Let's fucking go. Jets +7. I am taking Jets +7 back.
Dude, I think that's the only time they've taken the shitty player off of the Jets team, and you went, yep, I feel better about today. You took out a bad player off your defense, which means you're probably going to play somebody worse.
No. Bryce Hall should not be in the NFL. When they drafted Sauce Gardner, something in his head broke, and he went from being a good player to being absolute dog shit.
So your option coming off the bench is better.
I would feel better with you playing corner than I feel with Bryce Hall right now.
Okay.
Yes, and the option coming off the bench is Michael Carter II or
Pennick?
No, Pennick's a safety. And he's on the practice squad. Brandon Eccles. Yes, I feel better about both of those. That, by the way, takes me completely off the David Bell thing we talked earlier. Not saying it won't happen, just I would have felt much better about it knowing he was going to be lined up across from Bryce Hall.
Looks like DeAndre Swift is active for today.
He is active, yes.
Leonard Fournette also among the actives. Marcus Peters will play.
Yep, that was expected.
Let's see.
I'm not seeing anything that's really jumping off the page.
Nothing real groundbreaking.
Yet, but I've only got reports on 11 teams right now. Nope, lied. 2 more just showed up. No Bailey Zapp today. Oh, Jack Conklin not playing for the Browns. That's the Carl Lawson side.
Yeah.
That's the side that old number 5'8" plays on. I feel like I already knew that, but I just saw it, and for some reason it made me feel really good.
Shampoo wants to know who not to cut.
Okay.
Warren. So Jaylen Warren.
That's going to be the answer.
Josh Palmer.
Not Josh Palmer.
You should totally cut Josh Palmer.
Who scored a touchdown last week? No big deal.
Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier is borderline irrelevant unless you're in a dynasty league.
This has got to be dynasty. Between those 3 guys, who isn't who they should cut? So it's Palmer. The way you asked that question was kind of
Palmer
clunky.
is the one to not cut, yes.
Right. Black Cats and Hurricanes wants to know Clarissa Thompson or Jenny Taft.
Jenny Taft with dark hair, Clarissa Thompson usually. Jenny Taft with dark hair is good gracious.
Debo or Chase? Jamar Chase.
Both. Can I have both?
I don't know that
I
you
just
can
want to
get
play.
them both in.
I don't actually know what receiver, unless you're playing in a 1-receiver league, which is really hard to do. That's got to be a DraftKings question.
Yes.
Yeah. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm probably going to be. I'm going to end up out on Debo, which means he's probably going to go nanners.
Mm-hmm.
The rain is going to screw me up, and I'll end up doing it wrong.
Yeah, you should have stopped at Jamar. That's when you know. That's the answer. Jamar Chase. 19 games. Saying take Josh Palmer, and he finally gets a touchdown. Good for you, Steven Tao.
Just throw this out there. He has 5 touchdowns in his career, so scoreboard.
Scoreboard.
He was a 4th-round pick that had like 27 catches in college because he played with Jared Guarantano, who is somehow still playing professional football, which blows my mind.
Brad Carabahal says pick 3. Darrell Henderson, Miles Sanders. Actually, it says Miles Saunders. Chase Edmonds.
What are you,
DJ
the
Moore.
grammar police?
Yeah, Miles Saunders.
Fuck off,
Love that
Dad.
guy. Darrell
Good
Henderson,
God.
Miles Sanders, Chase Edmonds, DJ Moore, Jeff Wilson.
Darrell Henderson is the no-doubter. DJ Moore is the no-doubter. Then you have to decide between the other 3. Jeff
Sanders.
Wilson's the first one out for me. God, then it comes down to Miles Sanders and Chase Edmonds, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm going to have to look. It's Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
But not by as much as you think.
Miles Sanders.
I have him with about a 2-point advantage in my rankings, which are available on our Patreon. They will be available every Thursday moving forward, and I appreciate your patience with me putting all of this shit back together after I broke it.
Yep. Miles Sanders, after his damn near 100-yard game last week, gets the Minnesota Vikings,
who are poopy in primetime.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I will caution you, let me pull up the only thing I will caution you with Miles Sanders is that you had pretty positive game script last week. And you still had 23 snaps for Kenny Gainwell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Philadelphia ran 77 plays last week, I think. There is no freaking shot they do that again. So just temper your expectations. But Miles Sanders is the one I've seen do it. Chase Edmonds, I am hypothesizing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Philadelphia obviously is going to focus on the run, try to keep the ball out of Minnesota's hands. It's really the only option you got. Extend my drives, run the ball a lot, and they're going to continue to do that running back by committee thing. Because that's what Nick Sirianni does.
Because Nick Sirianni is a dick. That's the other thing that makes me nervous is every time I depend on Nick Sirianni to do the smart thing, he burns my ass.
Here's another one. Mark Starling or Cowboy John Roten? Starling.
I mean, if I'm choosing which one to sleep with, I'm going to go with neither. Because that was the first question that was asked is which one is more attractive? And
wait, what?
Not applicable.
What?
That same person that asked Clarissa Thompson or Jenny Taft.
Oh.
Now,
gotcha.
which one am I going to go play golf with? It's Mark Starling because I do play golf with him. But I like Cowboy, too.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboy also brings vegetables.
He does.
That he grew, and they are quite tasty.
He does. Gabe Davis, is he healthy? If not, I'm starting Landry or flexing Pierce.
Pierce is high upside, high risk.
That's a major dice roll for me.
I mean,
Davis is not out. He's just questionable.
He's questionable. I think he's going to play. You know what? That's one of those that's so close. I would just go Jarvis Landry anyway. I would take the suspense out of it and just go Jarvis Landry.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they're close, and the step back to Isaiah McKenzie would be worse than Jarvis Landry.
Mm-hmm. Ric Flair or Randy Savage?
Macho Man, not close.
Oh, stop that.
Well, that depends.
It's Ric Flair.
If we're talking about watching them actually wrestle, it's Macho Man's not even close.
True.
Now, if it comes to them talking, it's Ric Flair.
Yeah. Ric Flair is the promo king.
The promo king and one of the most grossly overrated wrestlers of all time. Because he oversold everything.
But that was the thing.
Yeah, and it was stupid.
That was the shtick. You oversell everything. Dude slaps you in the face, you got to stagger around for a little minute and then do the flop.
Yeah, and dumb.
And then you get up and whip his ass.
It's dumb.
Put him in a figure four leg lock, show's over. Macho Man was on so much cocaine that sometimes his promos just never made sense.
Yeah, kind of like the Ultimate Warrior.
That's why when you look up best Macho Man Randy Savage promos, the one that comes up is the cream rises to the top. The one where he kept pulling the little coffee creamers out of,
Bill
out of his
Buttigieg
waistband.
said, Tank, if we beat the Patriots, you better block me tomorrow. Bill, I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. I'm the one that's in charge of that, and I will not be doing that. So you will be able to have all the fun you want to have.
If we beat I thought he was a Patriot.
He meant the Steelers.
Oh.
I think he went to say if the Patriots win, and he just audibled it, and then he corrected it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the Patriots win,
Congratulations. You beat a shitty Steelers team.
It's not a shitty team.
Good
And then he also thanked me last week for earning him a lot of money in DFS. Thankfully, I had one lineup that saved the whole weekend.
Superflex full PPR, Mayfield or Penny?
Oh, my God.
Baker Mayfield or Rashad Penny in a Superflex?
First of all, Kevin Ashton, that's a new name. We're like an AA meeting for sports. I would tell you to put your drug of choice in the comments, but it appears to be Baker Mayfield. Don't worry, mine was Daniel Jones more than once. And it's currently Trey Lance and Justin Fields at the same time. You know what? I'm going to go Baker. I'll go Baker there. I think Kenny Walker is going to play this week. And if he does, that becomes the grossest split Ken Walker.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the NFL and had to drop the childish things of the past.
Kenneth.
Which is weird. Somehow he went to the NFL and got younger. That's the one they believe in. So Rashad Penny's going to be phased out, and I will go Baker this week. I think you could do worse than Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at my quarterback rankings, quarterbacks I would play Baker ahead of this week: Ryan Tannehill, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Geno Smith. And he's damn close with Davis Mills.
Does your answer change if he throws Brandon Ayuk into the Superflex?
In the rain, I'm good. And like I said earlier, I could see this being one of those games where Tariq Woolen is on him, and he winds up with 3 stupid penalties that cost Brandon Ayuk 70 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was wide-ass open, and Tariq Woolen just dragged him down.
Rob Johnson does add here, Steelers are 0-4 without T.J. Watt, so take that for what you will. Can the Falcons be as good offensively as they showed last week against the Saints? Also, is Drake London fantasy relevant?
The Falcons caught everybody off guard last week. It's not great. Can they be half-assed offensively? Yes, because it's still a kooky offense and it's tough to defend. Is Drake London fantasy relevant? Yes, but it's going to take some time.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to catch that meaty clackers part of the schedule.
Start Wentz or Cousins?
Wentz. I would start George Wentz over Kirk Cousins this week solely because he's playing in prime time. And Kirk Cousins in prime time very, very quickly turns into Ryan Leaf.
Never, never, never Kirk Cousins in prime time, says Jeremy Greene.
Ascendo asked, which one kills the parlay? Baltimore money line, Jets plus 6.5, New England money line, New Orleans money line, Giants money line. All 3 of those last ones scare me.
Iffy.
I feel very good about the first 2.
Mm-hmm. The Jets plus 6.5 looks very good.
It's going to be a big old gross fest.
The rest of those are all coin flips.
Baltimore is not a coin flip.
No, I'm saying after Jets plus 6.5.
Heard.
I mean, New England, Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, with all the injuries, it's hard to tell where that game's going to end up going. And the Giants, maybe.
Kevin Ashton followed up and said the reason I'm asking is because Gabriel Davis is iffy. In a super flex, I'm always going to play a quarterback. I don't really care who the receiver is. I almost never play receivers in my flex. That has to be a running back for me because I need safety. So I would go Baker. You also got to remember one thing, and this is one of those stupid pieces of advice that I never hear analysts give. Sometimes, it is worth not having to agonize for a day and a half if your guy's going to play and what you're going to do. If it's close, go the one you know is going to play. There's something to that. How many of us have overthought ourselves and done exactly that? Tried to play the guy in the Monday night game. He winds up not playing, and you play some dipshit that shouldn't be rostered in any league ever.
Mm-hmm.
Take the layup.
Yeah, done it time and time again. Another super chat here with more money going to Evelyn Charity, St. Nicholas Project. Nicholas Cole wants to know, Thielen, Christian Kirk, or Jarvis Landry? He's got to slot in a wide receiver.
If you need upside, I would go Kirk. If you need safety, I would go Landry. Thielen's the one I'm not going to touch.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins in primetime. And he will catch
I mean,
Darius
it's not
Slay
like he
most likely.
disappears.
He's god-awful. He is god-awful. Ooh, let's see if I can pull up this stat.
Oh, Kirk Cousins primetime stats? Love to see it.
It's god-awful.
Love to see it.
I love Stat Muse.
Because it's not
Stat
like he's
Muse
absolutely going to die.
Stat Muse is just the best. God, it's a lot of losses. I don't know how many games this is. 20-ish. He's gone over 300 yards like 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
In those games, he has been sacked no less than 3 times, all but twice. And now the picks don't tend to happen in the big games, but they still lose.
Mm-hmm.
Then conversely, you have the 6 sack against Tampa Bay. There's somewhere he just goes catatonic and is god awful. And I think Philadelphia's good, and people are overvaluing Minnesota. That's one of those games I look at and go, all right, three-dimensional chess.
But this was also a shootout game with Detroit last week. You don't see that happening with Minnesota?
No, because the transitive property does not work in anything but fucking addition. It sure as shit doesn't work in the NFL.
That if you shot out with a team that's worse than the team you're facing this week,
how often have you
mean...
watched a team play close with some? I'll give you a good example. Appalachian State. They go into Texas A&M and beat Texas A&M, and then they should have fucking lost to Troy.
Yep.
The transitive property does not work in the NFL. This has been proven 5 billion times. It's all about matchups. It's all about the setup. I hate the setup this week for Minnesota. Sendo asked which one kills the afternoon parlay. San Francisco money line, Cincinnati money line, Houston plus 10.5, Vegas money line, Rams -10. I'm in on all this, which means one of them is going to fuck you.
Yeah,
because that is how parlays work. But I would go with every bit of that. Darrell Henderson, Michael Thomas, Josh Jacobs, or Gabriel Davis in the flex. In order, Darrell Henderson, Josh Jacobs, Michael Thomas, Gabriel Davis. When you have options that good, certainly don't take the risk of some fuckery happening in the Monday night slate.
Black Cats and Hurricanes again. Sneaky, cheap DFS defense to play today.
Wait, let me do it. I got to. Oh, because I'm wearing the jersey. JETS, Jets. That's the sneaky DFS play today. It's going to be stupid low owned. I'm going to die on this hill, or I'm going to ride this sumbitch to a whole mess of money.
Jets were able to limit the Baltimore Ravens from absolutely running down their throats last week. And that's all Cleveland relies on.
Fun story. Where do I always follow? Follow the what?
Money.
35% of tickets on the New York Jets. How much of the money is on the Jets?
No clue.
71%. What does that tell you?
Sharps are on
that
the
tells
Jets.
you the penny fucking slot guys are sitting there going, I'll put 5 on the Browns to win 470. And the Sharps are going, I'll put $5K on the Jets to win 4,700.
Mm-hmm.
Let's roll. By the way, just throwing this out there. Money line, Jets are getting 56% of the money on 13% of the tickets. That means the heavy hitters are just dropping sausage on the Jets.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Tal, thank you for the Bengals suggestion there. The Bengals at 2,200. That's my cheap defense of the week. Going up against the Dallas Cowboys.
I can't figure out how they're cheap either. You're going against Cooper freaking Rush.
Exactly. Do they have to set them a week in advance? Maybe that's it. Do the prices get set like in week 1 for week 2?
No, they get set the Sunday before.
No.
So, I mean, they wouldn't have seen Dak Prescott go down.
There you go. That's what I was
They
thinking.
still shouldn't have been that cheap. You can tell me Dak Prescott was playing with Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith, and still they should not have been that cheap. Jimbo Fisher. Oh,
Yikes.
That's a name that hits me in my feelers. Sutton, Thomas, CD, or Mooney. I will take Darnell Mooney out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He will be on an episode of Dateline before this game is over because he will be so missing that he will be presumed dead. I can't go CD Lamb with Cooper Rush, so I'll go Cortland Sutton, Michael Thomas.
Agreed.
Kevin Ashton, only quarterbacks available to pick up: Davis Mills, Jacoby Brissett, Cooper Rush, Joe Flacco, and Taysom Hill. If you can play Taysom Hill as a tight end, that is alluring, not as a quarterback.
So do I keep Baker Mayfield?
Absolutely.
Rather than pick up any of those guys?
Davis Mills is close.
That's
but
what I was thinking.
The upside's so low.
I was thinking Davis Mills as well, but yeah, you might be better off just sticking with Baker Mayfield.
Lights asked, Adam Thielen or Curtis Samuel full PPR? I think I know how I answered this, but let me verify. Curtis Samuel is my wide receiver 16 in a full PPR today. Adam Thielen is number 39. So it's Curtis Samuel by a whole mess.
By a lot.
Now, just so you know, that sounds way more drastic than it actually is. I project down to the sneeze. And I got fumbles and all kinds of shit in my projections. So the difference there is like 3 points.
Mm-hmm. My content is so good I don't need a little whatever.
So I don't need a title.
I don't need a title. Oh, that's what that is. Says I am taking Minnesota over the Eagles.
You are a braver man than I am. Trusting Minnesota in primetime is like Tank trusting a fart. It could ruin your whole day, and your panties could be in the trash.
'Cause you shouldn't. Considering dropping 500 on the Jets, says Ascendo.
It's a bold strategy.
Oh.
And if you're right. Now, if you're wrong.
It'll pay.
If you're wrong, it will suck. Adam Salome said, I also have Kareem Hunt. I love Kareem Hunt today. All right, I got to add that to what he said. All right, so I would go Darrell Henderson, then Kareem Hunt, then Josh Jacobs, then Michael Thomas. I like Kareem Hunt a lot today. Because I hate Nick Chubb today.
Christian Kirk or Allen Robinson? I think it's Kirk.
I know what the rankings say.
The rankings say Kirk.
The rain says I might take a shot on Allen Robinson. I'm being contrarian. If you're in season long, it's without a doubt. Now, if you're talking about DFS, I'd probably throw a ticket at Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
I have some shares of Allen Robinson.
But season long, it's Christian Kirk, not close.
Although you could get Casey Hayward on Cup and Terrell on Robinson. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to overthink that. It's Christian Kirk.
I don't like the matchup. I don't think it's a super plus matchup either way. Completely out on David Montgomery, asked Pennywise.
Not out. Don't like him at all this week.
Any shot in hell that the Bears win today?
No.
Not a chance against the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau. Primetime game. I'm going to say Justin Fields shits his pants.
And, I mean, you are the aficionado on that. Yeah, I'm a dick. Yeah, I see no path.
Maybe screwed either way, but do I go Christian or Kirk Cousins or Trey Lance? Kirk Cousins.
I don't agree with you.
Not close.
I have look, I had Trey Lance way higher this week than you would ever think. I mean, way higher than you would ever think. Because it's the Seattle Sea Chickens.
Mm-hmm.
They let Russell God almighty, I can't stop calling him Russell Westbrook. I've done that shit for 4 solid years. They let Russell Wilson throw for 11 jillion yards on them, and I'm not 100% sure he actually knew the playbook.
But Trey Lance has not shown you the capability to do that.
No, but Trey Lance has shown me the ability to run over that shitty group of linebackers that the Seattle Seahawks have. And with no Jamal Adams, you don't have an enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan Brooks, stop. Jordan Brooks next to Trey Lance would look like Tank next to me. I mean, more power to you. Keep trying it.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance will have one of those days that you watch it live and you go, God, that was ugly to watch. And then you see how many fantasy points he scored, and that worked out in my favor.
He says, if both are bad, then I'm hitting the waiver wire trying to grab somebody. You will not find anybody on the waiver wire that will come close to Kirk Cousins or Trey Lance for me.
It depends. I've seen leagues where there are just a shit ton of quarterbacks that are – hell, I saw Trevor Lawrence available in a league.
Really?
Yes. Quarterbacks are fun. So I host a draft for a fantasy league here in Asheville every year. They force you to take 2 quarterbacks, but you can't take more than 2 quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Kelvin, I would love to know what the top of the quarterback availability list looks like in that league.
If check out who's out there, we'll tell you.
Right.
Or at least what we think.
Right.
I just looked at my phone for the first time in 2 hours and had 417 text messages.
Who's available? Primetime Kirk is suspect. Yeah. I get it. I get that that it's not ideal to have Kirk Cousins in primetime. I still just feel like Justin Jefferson's going to get his, so that's going to come back on Kirk Cousins, right?
Say that one more time.
I said I get that you don't want to have Kirk Cousins in primetime, but Justin Jefferson's still going to get his, and so that'll come back on Kirk.
Is he going to get his?
Oh, he's going to get shut down?
Is he? Or is James Bradbury going to?
Really? James Bradbury just takes him completely out of the game.
James Bradbury's physical as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's going to stop him. I'm just saying I don't love anything happening.
But to me, to be completely out on Kirk Cousins because it's a primetime game, you have to the two things can't exist simultaneously, can they?
That Kirk sucks.
That Kirk sucks and Justin Jefferson's still number 3 wide receiver.
I don't think he's going to be number 3 regardless. I don't have him as a top 3 play this week. I will have to look to tell you where I have him.
Okay.
Overall, Justin Jefferson was 11 for me this week.
11?
Mm-hmm. Game script. Is the one thing that people do not do with their projections that has always made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a score for a game, then how the fuck do you evaluate how people are what guys are going to do? If the Vikings are going to score, and I can tell you exactly what I think the score is going to be.
Okay.
I have that game ending 31-24, and Dalvin Cook is the one that has the day because I don't like the linebackers for the Eagles. That is the biggest weakness on that team. I have Dalvin Cook scoring 2 touchdowns. He's one of my favorite running backs of the week.
Okay.
So the game's close, but I do not trust primetime Kirk.
Kelvin Joyner says top 3 quarterbacks available are Matt Ryan, Mitch Trubisky, and Marcus Mariota.
None of those. At least not this week.
But even going forward in the season, would you take any of those guys over Trey Lance and who was the other one?
Kirk Cousins.
No. I wouldn't either.
Stephen Towle said Cooper Kupp had 30 last week and Stafford had 14. It can happen. It can absolutely happen.
Yeah, okay. Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins?
This week, Russell Wilson. Nate F. said, I have Lance sitting on my bench for season long. When do I give up on him? I would mid-season at the earliest.
Mm-hmm. Whenever Jimmy Garoppolo starts, that's when you give up on him.
You also got to remember that schedule is Gnarls Barkley. So not a murderer's row.
Mm-hmm. Not saying I'm rooting for that to happen. It's just the more and more. I mean, like, what was it? Who was it last week? Sean Payton. Sean Payton said at some point this season, mark my words, Jimmy Garoppolo will be starting for the San Francisco 49ers.
And I will have to see that to believe it.
I was going to say, Sean Payton's a pretty smart dude. So,
he also said Teddy Bridgewater was good. After last week, he said, but Teddy Bridgewater was with me. He's a fucking good quarterback. If they bench Tua Tagovailoa for Teddy Bridgewater, they might as well set him on fire and push him into the ocean.
Nice.
Joshua Penix asked, Jeff Wilson or Kenyon Drake with Dobbins and Kamara out? Oh, God. I would rather Rex Burkhead than either one of them, but I will go
Jeff Wilson.
I'm going to go Kenyon Drake.
A baby dog's ticket pays 17 to 1
Jets, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville. I love Ascendo.
I don't hate it.
I love people that just have meaty clackers and swing them around like, moneyline dogs, let's go.
Hey, 17-1. That's a damn good payout if you can make it happen, and I could fully see all three of those teams winning today.
It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
The Indianapolis Colts struggle in
Jacksonville. It's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.
All right, sorry. That went way longer than I thought it was going to. Indianapolis struggles in Jacksonville. And if you're going to add the rain, it's just another, this could pile up. This could continue to pile up for Indianapolis. And Jacksonville will be like his, like Tom Brady's New Orleans Saints. Just can't beat them. I could very well see a path to that happening.
I have one spot in a DFS lineup that is just ruining my life.
All right, do you want to give us your hammer before we sign off here and head on over to the Village Porch?
I do love giving my hammer.
Reynolds Village in North Asheville. Come on out and hang out with us for the games today.
What are you after, a DraftKings lineup?
Yep.
Well, I can't give you the one that you're competing with me against. So let's just do one here on the fly, shall we? You're going to have to give me just a second.
Okay. Paul Richardson asks favorite game of the week.
Cardinals Raiders.
Cardinals Raiders.
For fantasy purposes. Now, in terms of game that I want to watch, Dolphins Ravens.
Lions Commanders.
That one's also pretty
Lions Commanders is very high on my list.
All right, let's see. Create lineup.
I also feel like the Panthers Giants is going to be an interesting game to watch. Not that it's going to be high scoring or anything. It's just I think we're going to learn something about both of these teams today.
I think that one's going to be sludgy McSludge pants.
I mean, if you're a fan of running backs, that's what you got to keep your eyes on for today. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, both should be in massive plus matchups.
I'm going to give a very contrarian, different lineup.
All right. DFS play contrarian of the week.
DJ Moore is the guy that I feel like I'm underweight on. So he's going to be who I start this lineup with.
Okay.
I'm going to start at Kyler Murray with the double stack Greg Dortch at Zach Ertz. That gives me pretty much all the play I need to do what I want to do at running back, which is go Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Antonio Gibson.
Damn.
Because I physically do not see a way. And now, obviously, anytime I say that, one of them's going to burn my ass.
And what does that leave you with?
That leaves you with 4,200 at wide receiver. Because I have the Bengals defense as well.
Okay,
that's the part that I left out.
2,200 on the Bengals defense.
So you get to 4,200, and this is, do you play with your gut? Do you play with your brain? Because you can take one of the cheap Indianapolis guys. If I'm doing that, I'm taking Ashton Doolin. I'm leaving about $800 on the table, and that's probably enough to make me contrarian. Or do you get cute and play a guy that's a gut feeling for me? You're going to tell me I'm nuts when I say this.
Okay.
Nico Collins.
Nico. Really?
Nico Collins. Gut hunch. And I mean the definition of a gut hunch. When I did the projections this week, he was the number one player that jumped off the board of, wow, that went nicer for you than I thought, because Brandon Cooks will get Patrick Surtain. I understand that did not go particularly well because DK Metcalf is so big and so physical that that's not an advantageous matchup for Pat Surtain. I think Brandon Cooks is. Okay. And I think Denver keeps that Houston, keeps that game closer than we think.
Yep. I would say that it's going to be closer than you think, just like last week with Indianapolis was. Hopefully we have no ties this week.
Oh, God.
Fucking hate ties so much. I mean, let's go penalty kicks. I don't care anything.
That's a soccer thing. We don't do soccer things.
Anything. I don't care. I mean, you don't like the college rules. You don't
The
like
college
hey,
rule's
we get it
awful.
at the 25 and see who can, not score.
The college rule blows dead bears.
Kicking field goals to win it, that could be a solution.
Out. I'm out. Kickers aren't people. You knew how I was going to you knew how I was going to react to that before you ever said it.
So do you just keep playing? That's your
yeah.
solution. Just keep playing until somebody takes the lead.
100%.
Okay.
Not like we got anything better to do.
I got something better to do, which is hit the road so we can get to the Village Porch in North Asheville.
So
Reynolds
we can drink
Village.
all the beers.
That's right. Reynolds Village is the place to be this afternoon and every Sunday afternoon for football with your favorite two sports lummoxes.
That is a nice way of saying fat drunks, but
Yeah, it is what it is. We appreciate you all joining us for today's fantasy game time decisions here in the Ingles studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Let's go Cincinnati Bengals. Not gonna have much of a tough time today with the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think. Don't forget to tip your waiters, and we will see you next time.
it's time for me to go have a fucking beer because I've been awake for 2 damn days.